So you know that we were talking about Biden putting on the Trump hat, and I mentioned that I needed to make an analysis of Karine Jean Pierre as well, because the White House claimed that the gesture of putting the Trump hat was a gesture of unity after they have demonized Donald Trump in any way. So I didn't buy it. But then I saw this clip of Karine Jean Pierre talking about another fact. You know, we need to talk about dogs and cats, our little furry friends, our pets that are being, let's say, not treated properly by some immigrants. And she was answering some questions, and I want you to pay attention to her blinking rate. A blinking rate is one thing that in body language is a very easy signal to spot. And when we are upset or rather emotional, we're going to be blinking faster and in bursts. But let's take a look at Karine Jean Pierre. You have asked me about an analysis of Karine so many times that I just needed to do this one.
But I do want to take a step back. I think it's important that all of us take a step back here and just lean on the facts here. The Springfield, Ohio Police Department has debunked this very bizarre and very hateful smear that's out there.
Okay, we have the official reports. This thing is not happening, but you cannot deny the more than 30 minutes that we have already. Someone made a video of 30 minutes interviewing Springfield, Ohio residents, and they are talking about what is happening to the pets. And we have videos of, even trafficking of pets for these heinous acts. So there's all the proof in the world, even if they want to deny it. And you know they're going to deny it because of all that is happening. And at the same time, you have noticed that when she speaks, there's a lot of looking down. She's embarrassed about this. She is a bit resistant to say these words. She's using her usual vocal frequency. Her voice frequency, the way that the words, the way that she speaks, is the usual frequency. I have listened to plenty of her press conferences. That is still on point. The volume, the tone of voice is still pretty much her, but that's why you have to analyze body language in many factors at the same time. It's not like you only spot blinking and just from the blinking you can reach a conclusion. No, you need many factors at the same time so you can reach to a solid conclusion about people's behavior.
It is what is happening here is an attempt to tear apart communities and disrespect. Let's not
notice how she blinks very fast right there when she says tearing apart communities. I'm going to there's that very fast blinking. Gonna show it again. You see it, very easy to spot. And again, fast blinking means when people are upset or are moved emotionally. It doesn't have a direct meaning, but I just want you to imagine of blinking that is a signal. Okay, there's a clue in there. Something happened. What is she blinking in with that frequency? Okay, what changed? What is she saying at that moment? And what she's saying at that moment is that is talking about an attempt to tear apart communities and disrespect. Tear apart communities. When she says the communities, she's implying that the community of Springfield, Ohio are all this homogeneous mass of people, both the residents who have been living there their entire lives and those who were brought by the Biden-Harris administration with we already know with which intention, with what intention. You know that I made a video about illegal immigration, and many people are saying, but Jesus, these people, these Haitians that are there are not illegal. They had this temporary protection status, this TPS from the Biden-Harris administration. So it's incorrect to call them illegals. I haven't called them illegals. They are those 20,000 Haitians are not illegals. They are staying legally in the United States and specifically in Springfield, Ohio. But that doesn't mean that the impact of this influx that is more than, it was more than like 1/3 of the size of the original community, that's gonna make drastic changes. And I have another video a bit later. I'm going to tease that video that I have later about one example of how this is going to be discussed. I'm going to have this video a bit later, but I want to talk about this body language of trying to cover up facts. You look down, you have this fast blinking, you see that all communities are being torn apart, and especially, very important, she talks about communities in a homogeneous way, that they are all the same. That is important. There's no distinction on anyone who is living in Springfield, Ohio right now.
Correct. Let's not forget also disrespecting law enforcement, and that is the opposite of what our country deserves. It is undignified and an insult to all of us as Americans, not just one community, but to all of us as Americans.
When she says all of us as Americans, she's trying to just draw the focus open, trying to open the focus not only from Springfield, Ohio, but the whole country. And that way you can speak in more vague terms. All of us as Americans, every single one of us, even if she's talking about people that are not American citizens, that's when she actually can look at the journalists in the eye. And still we have some fluttering, quick blinking in there. You see it, very easy to spot. This is quick blinking. I'm do it with the keyboard, and then presses her lips. Quick blinking and presses her lips right after that. What did she say at that moment? That is important. What did the person say? It is undignified. Undignified. That whatever people are doing is undignified. Like everyone deserves dignity. Maybe she, deep inside, she doesn't think that everyone deserves the same dignity, because dignity is something that you earn. It's like respect. Respect should be earned. It's not like you're gonna have a respect all of a sudden. It's like free respect. No, that shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be a thing. Let's continue.
Is undignified and an insult to all of us as Americans, not just one community, but to all of us as Americans. And it is spreading filth that makes the lives of the communities that are being smeared here.
You see again that she uses communities. She doesn't say immigrants. She doesn't separate them. She doesn't classify them. She says communities as a whole. Okay, she makes sure to say it to push the concept that anybody who lives in this area is exactly the same, which they are not.
Their lives in danger. And
okay, this again, she's gonna say this is just hateful. I'm gonna zoom in so you can spot her blinking. Again, when she changes posture, there comes some very fast blinking. There it goes, fast blinking, and presses her mouth again. Pressing your lips is usually a sign of frustration. I don't want to assign a stiff meaning to it. Is again another clue that the person doesn't feel comfortable with something. It's very general, but it's a clue. It's usually in the realm of the negative emotions. Okay, it can happen that someone can have a positive emotion and press their lips, But usually that pressing of the lips is something that is you feel frustrated about, that is contrarian what you expect.
And it is just hate speech. That's what it is.
Let me fix
And
this.
some of the news organizations here have reported that some Haitian American, Haitian immigrants are fearing for their safety right now because of a result of conspiracy theory.
Notice that she is beginning to doubt. When she begins to mention the Haitians or Haitian Americans or Haitian immigrants, they're fearing for their lives. Notice where that her voice frequency begins to slow down, like she's trying to measure her words. It's very easy when you use blanket statements as Americans or communities, but she has to address the actual people involved in this, and this is some kind of trigger in her state, in the way that she expresses.
Some Haitian American, Haitian immigrants are fearing for their safety right now because of a result of conspiracy theory. This is what this is. So instead of leaders trying to bring us together around our shared values, which is something that the president believes and says all the time, as I just stated.
Notice that all of that, she has been speaking like for 5 seconds, and she is looking down all the time, and she hadn't had that blinking frequency up till now. She's blinking. I'm going to zoom in so you see it better. She begins to has this blinking, is looking down, and keeps looking down, and she is blinking. He doesn't raise her eyes to look at the journalists, and he says, and the president and the vice president, that's what they want to see. That's when she raises her eyes again.
Want to see us come together in our shared values in a respectful way. And I will say one more thing, and I think if you guys could hear me out for 1 second, like maybe we should not have leaders who fall for fake internet conspiracy theories.
And yeah, she's talking about Trump, obviously. And when she's talking about Trump, you know what she really thinks about Trump. She has this face of, what do you think is his face? Maybe you can pause the video right now and write your comments. What do you think? I'm going to ask the question. What do you think is this face? I'm going to make sure to zoom in, and right there. What do you think is that face? She raised this as this deeper muscles here, this holes here, this expression of disgust. It's a very subtle expression of disgust. That's what she feels about Donald Trump. Not surprising, being Karine, and at least that's very honest from her. But that's the way that you can tell how someone feels about a situation or a person or anything.
We should think about that. Maybe we should not have leaders who do that. Our country deserves better.
Our country deserves better. Well, it is not a conspiracy theory. You can go anywhere on X, and everybody realizes that the Democrats cannot deny it. They're just trying to make some kind of explanation about it, but they are falling short. But again, either way, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Remember to download my 100 body language tips for free in the description of this video. Remember the most important words: much love and bliss.